Many projects require some kind of display, and one of the most popular displays is the OLED that uses I2C communication. It comes in several sizes and resolutions, but they all work basically the same way. I2C is a very popular protocol for communicating with external devices because it uses only 2 pins, and we can connect many devices using the same 2 pins. The only tricky thing is that we need to know the address of each device so Arduino can communicate with it. In the Uno Learning Shield, the address is written below the display. But if you want to discover what's the address of any other device, you can use this I2C scanner. Link in the description. The scanner prints the address of all the devices connected, so just take note and put the address in your sketch. As you can imagine, the easiest way to use this display is by using a library. There are many good libraries, but I think the easiest one to use is this one from Adafruit. Additionally, you need to install the Adafruit GFX library. Install those libraries and try any of the examples included, or you can use my example so you can follow. The first thing is to add the libraries into the sketch with these lines. Then initiate the display by putting the resolution of your display. Usually it's 128 by 32 or 128 by 64. This one in the Uno Learning Shield is 128 by 32, so we're going to use that one. In here we put the address we talked about earlier. We print on the display several things like text, a rectangle, and a value. The idea is to take my example and modify it as you want, using it as a guide. I put a lot of comments so you know how everything works. There is another protocol commonly used for displays called SPI, which requires more connections, but at least it doesn't require addresses. The connections can be a little confusing because the labels don't follow a solid standard, but you can use this chart to figure out how to connect them. I have several tutorials about specific displays, so you can watch those if you're interested in using one of them. That's the hard part of displays, that each one has different drivers and requires specific libraries. Besides that, they all have different default connections, and some of them are not even compatible with 5 volts. So the best is to follow specific tutorials for the particular display you're trying to use. There are some advanced displays like the Next-Gen display where they have their own processor and we design everything in a graphic editor. That way we can create complicated designs and the Arduino board only has to send values to those objects using the serial protocol. It's also a touchscreen and it can have many pages or screens. I made a series of tutorials for this display, so you can check it out in the description. There are a lot of other types of displays, so I suggest watching my video about my favorite displays and then watch the specific tutorial of the display you're interested in. Another way to indicate things other than displays is by sounds. If you want to learn about it, check out the next tutorial where we're going to connect a speaker and create all sorts of sounds. If you ever need to have a custom PCB for your projects, either your own design or from one downloaded from someone else, you can upload the Gerber files to PCBWay.com and they can manufacture it starting at $5 plus shipping. That makes it easier than using a generic prototype board. I hope it was helpful and see you in the next video. Bye bye.